확실한 신념들이 있는지 당신의 자유와 타인의 자유가 동일.
Oh god, why now maybe I'm remembering why I stopped doing BTS reactions for a quick 1 to 2 week break, because my head hurts already. Forgotten how to... What's up, guys? My name is Comedian. As some of you may know, over Christmas, I took my pretty much regular 1 to 2 week break to relax and recharge, and here I am 1 to 2 weeks later, back doing my thing. So yeah, a lot has happened in that 1 to 2 weeks, weirdly. A crazy amount has happened, like a substantial amount. But the headline is that Suga, Agust has some new music out, and I want to check it out with you guys, just for old time's sake, Initially, I kept putting loads of conditions upon me coming back after 1 to 2 weeks. I was going to finish this creative video, I was going to do X, I was going to start doing video game streaming, I was going to tidy my room, all of this crazy, silly stuff. I was going to put up my posters, I even got frames for my posters, I got a BTS poster down there, I was going to put it all up and be like, look at me. I may have been away for 1 to 2 weeks, but I've got a lot to show for it. But I also realized putting conditions on my return was part of the problem of why I wasn't coming back. And also, realistically, you guys probably care about that even less than I do. So here I am, 1 to 2 weeks later, re-medicated, re-therapied, re-indoors, and re-edgy to watch this. Let's go. Man, it's been a while since I heard that tasty big hit intro. 1 to 2 weeks to be precise. Subtitles, are they on? Yeah, they are. It's in English, wow. YouTube finally accepted my identity. Oh, it's cinematic. Suga looking like a bruiser. A Korean bruiser in his Korean bruising jacket. That actually, for those who don't know, I am the world's foremost Korean culture expert. I do all the consulting for Korean culture and Korean movies. That's a fact, obviously. This symbol here is a Korean bruise. When Korean people... What am I even saying? 1 to 2 weeks later, nothing has changed. Not those symbols. They didn't translate that. They're just like, sorry, foreigners, just guess. Well, he's still looking like a bruiser. Enough, In fact, this is reminding me weirdly of Fast and Furious movies. I don't know why. I've been watching the Fast and Furious movies. If you've been wondering what my mental health state has been in these last 1 to 2 weeks, the fact that I'm now watching the entire Fast and Furious series from start to finish, if it ever finishes, is a pretty damning indictment on how I'm doing. How are you doing?
Hey. Okay.
Oh my god, are those chopsticks? You could fucking end a man's life with some chopsticks. Oh, okay, well, this happens to bang, people. It happens to bang, and I also happened to maybe realise that these headphones, the same headphones I've been wearing for the past 1 to 2 weeks or years, aren't loud enough, so I'm gonna crank this, because I want to headbang. That's too loud. Alright, it's louder now, just like my personality. Oh, I'm on board. That's lively rhythm. I don't know what Haegeum is. I'm going to continue my tradition of trying not to be ignorant by looking it up. Look at me go, people. Traditional Korean string instrument resembling a vertical fiddle with 2 strings. And for those of you who also didn't know what it was, which is unlikely, let's face it, it looks fucking cool as shit. It looks like a violin had angry, violent sex with a croquet mallet. It's like, what? That doesn't even look like an instrument to me. It looks like one of those things you see when somebody a little bit crazy in California in the desert makes art with some shit they found on the side of the road. That is amazing. I kind of just want to do my classic thing and go in a completely left field direction with this reaction video and just you know what, sorry Suga, your video's nice and everything, but I want to watch Korean people, or I guess anyone, I'm not picky, play this instrument. Because how do you play it? Okay, I'm gonna come back to this. We're just gonna have a little quick look on YouTube. Yeah, there you go. Okay, playing great. Look, now if you're a Haegeum fan, all of this has been taken over by BTS now. I just want to see the instrument being played. BTS is destroying the internet, destroying Korean musicians and music, obviously. Wait, okay, finally. Jesus, how is it this hard to find someone playing it? Maybe it's like kind of an obscure instrument or not something everyone plays anymore? I don't know. That sounds nice. Oh, that is charming, my snake people. It's a shame this video is about 100 pixels to its name. Any close-ups? Wow, that looks insanely complicated and skilled. It's got like 2, mid-level microphones or baby rattles attached to it, to a hockey puck. It's just such a cool cyberpunk dystopian looking instrument. I love it. It's truly otherworldly. Alright, I can see why Suga would have picked this as a title for his song, because it's a very, very cool object. Alright, let's get to the context invigorated, let's go. It definitely is a Haegeum. As in, it's like completely out there, otherworldly, I guess a little bit ancient and a little bit cool. It's like he's giving a reaction, people artistic license to be our idiotic selves. He said, what did he say? Interpretation is free for all. Thank you. I've been relying on that for the past 1 to 2 weeks. Oh, no, but never mind, because after saying interpretation's free for all, he's now getting really specific and deep. Okay, freedom of expression could be the reason for somebody's death. Is he getting into the very tricky territory of freedom of speech and how complicated that can be and how far you can take that? Because oh, I feel like he's tapping into something I've often thought about, which is like, especially living in America as a non-American. I guess I'm pretty American these days, but as a non-American living in America, the concept of freedom, especially American concept of freedom, because a lot of what some Americans consider freedom is basically, freedom is, for some Americans, me being allowed to do the things I want to do, which is very nice and good. But when the things you want to do infringe on the things other people want to do, is your freedom then actual freedom if it stops other people being their own version of freedom? Freedom is a complicated bullshit word which is used as a sort of carte blanche to be a dick sometimes. It is complicated. Freedom's a very abstract concept, but Suga is trying to tackle it anyway. Props to him. Oh god, why now? Maybe I'm remembering why I stopped doing BTS reactions for a quick 1 to 2 week break, because my head hurts already. I haven't had this feeling in the past 1 to 2 weeks. It's like I'm back in school. I mean, it's good. It's very, very evocative, gets the people going, but also, ow, my brain. Okay, if your convictions, let's just sound this out so my brain can try and grasp onto it like a wet, sandy sponge. If your convictions are reflected in your judgment and speculations, and you believe that your freedom is on the same level as others, okay, that's nice. So he's saying if you actually practice what you preach, and you think, I guess you deserve, your freedom is on the, as in, your freedom doesn't trump others, which is what I was just talking about. I mean, hello, me and Suga, like, we're like a hive mind, man, except he sings it in beautiful poetry words and cool music, and I just affirm it sometimes slightly ahead of when I hear it. But we're not fucking a hive mind, man. Oh, wow. Ooh. Don't even understand her own taste. It's about freeing what's forbidden. Oh, bring me that forbidden fruit. Dude, the poetry and the philosophy of this man is second to none. And I say that because he happens to agree with the things I agree with, which means he's obviously a correct genius. That's how the world works. Remember to differentiate. This is just what I was talking about. Remember to differentiate freedom from self-indulgence. Indeed, indeed. I was on board. I'm even more on board now. I'm already falling into that BTS trap. This is probably why other reactors do the music, do the song first, then the music video, because it's like when the lyrics are this good, it's really hard for me to follow the music video too. It's just like, But he's throwing a bag of money around. Maybe is this music? I'd have to see that. I guess so far, from what I can vaguely remember, this music video is kind of him acting out and being a dick. So maybe it's kind of hammering that point home of like your version of freedom is not necessarily the correct one, especially if you get really obnoxious with it. Stop rubbing your willy on people's sandwiches or something. You know, I could be out there being like, my version of freedom is rubbing my willy on your cheese and pickle sandwich, but then someone else is like, I didn't want your willy on my cheese and pickle sandwich, and you're like, oh yeah, that's not freedom then. What was I thinking? I'll take that sandwich if you're not going to have it. Not bad. Oh, he's put a fish. It is just him being a knob. He's put a fish in a water cooler. Is that what they call it? Standing around the water cooler. That's the Why is it called? Well, I guess it cools water. It's the machine cools water. The tub on top is just a tub of water. A bottle, a big bottle. I don't know what they call it. I don't. If I worked in the office supplies industry, I'd probably know, but I don't, which is why I'm doing this and making far less money and having far less fun than somebody who works in the office supplies industry. That was not a diss at all. If you're watching this, you just sat down from your hard day's shift at the office supply industry building, then you made the correct choice of your life. Oh my god, these again, it's like, I don't want to miss this video, but I feel like the lyrics here are definitely the highlight. And this is the thing I happen to click on. So, endless influx of information prohibits freedom of imagination and seeks conformity of thought, which is the exact reason I deleted my Reddit app recently. Not my account, I wasn't that strong, but deleting the app was a big step for me, and I've stopped spending hours and hours of my life wasting time reading the thoughts of others, all of whom have inferior opinions to me. And more importantly, it's just like, when and we all do it, we're on social media right now, YouTube's almost like a form of that. It can be, I guess it's slightly less, I see it, if there's some good stuff on YouTube, but it's like, it's not as like doom scrolling is bad. YouTube can suck up hours of your time, and it can be bad in a certain way, but there's a lot of good content on YouTube, and you can watch calming videos, you can meditate, you can do yoga. There's lots of good stuff on YouTube. Whereas a lot of like news apps or like social media apps, doom scrolling, like it's literally just being bombarded with information until your brain is buzzing with anxiety, and it's unbearable. And that was how I was living my life every single day. And genuinely, one of the best decisions I've made recently was deleting the Reddit app off my phone, because I was just spending way too much time on there. If you're watching this and there's an app you should delete, just try it, because it's like, you can always go on the browser version, I guess, if you're desperate. And then when you do it, when you have to sit down at your computer and be like, I'm going to go on reddit.com like it's 1994, you think to yourself, this is actually pretty shit. The only reason I was doing it was because I could do it anywhere, and it was like, why not? The second there's a lull in conversation, the second the sun goes behind the clouds, the second my friend looks weird in his glasses, I'm going to pull out my phone. It's just like, I don't know. Some people can probably handle that, but a lot of us, it's kind of destructive. So, yeah. Influx of information prohibits freedom of imagination. It's like, we're so bombarded with outside stuff, we can't live in the moment. Like, it's getting harder and harder to live in the moment. For example, me talking about 50 billion words about 1 second of song, rather than just listening, which is what everyone wants me to do. Well, sorry people, you come to the wrong channel. Confusion and judgment, I like that phrasing. Oh wow, he's really getting just like slaves to capitalism, slaves to money. I guess, it's, for some people, like, it is easy to say that when you already have money, but that's kind of the thing. If someone can beat the system and still be like, this shit sucks, everyone, then maybe you should listen to them. I was just being like, maybe YouTube's not so bad. Or maybe that was just me coping, because that's the platform I express myself on. But he's right. I mean, maybe he's just the same as me. I've been saying this, maybe he also wakes up at like 10 a.m. and spends 4 hours watching a Titanic recreation live stream. And then he gets out of bed and is like, what the Although, to be honest, that out of all the YouTube videos I've watched recently, that's the one I regret the least. It was informative, it was historical, Titanic is interesting, big boat, go, boom, ow, hole, sinky, winky. It's a good time. But has anything changed, though? I feel like the human condition is the exact same. It's just social media has enhanced it. It used to be, you'd be in your cave and you'd be like, ooga, ooga, oh, man over there have bigger cave, and that was like your concern. But now you're like, man in Africa have bigger cave, man in Egypt have really big cave. Like you're worrying about people thousands of miles, people that you won't even ever meet, which is like, you know, that's a level of anxiety and stress our brains were not designed to ever cope with. Alright, and again, this is where I feel sad that the music video has been slightly lost on me, because we now have Suga putting a gun to his own head. Very, very childish Gambino style. In a fantastic, I'm jealous of that shirt, that's a lovely shirt. Metaphorically, it might make more sense to me if I had been following the video all along, but at the same time, in a song about the dangers of just bombarded with information, about bombarded with jealousy, you know, the simple metaphor of kind of shooting yourself in the foot or head, it looks like, is pretty clear, because, you know, in a way, we can be our own worst enemies in that way. Like, you know, I do blame Reddit slightly for being addictive and awful and being designed to make you keep clicking and stay on it, but when I finally found my own self-strength to delete the app, it did improve my life significantly. So in a way, I was holding the gun to my head every time I went on Reddit and was like, this sucks, what am I doing in my life? And then didn't try and change it. You know, sometimes you find comfort in misery, which is like bad. But luckily for me, it only lasts for about 1 to 2 weeks, that period of comfort and misery, so yeah. This is a lively rhythm. My shoulders are trembling. Oh shit, son. No. He broke the fourth wall and took his own cigarette, and he's throwing it at the director. So it's almost like, in my interpretation of this metaphor, he suddenly fought back against the part of you that holds yourself back. He steals a cigarette, he burns a pile of money, which metaphorically is like, maybe I should stop chasing this idea of wealth or fame or envy. And his inner self fights back, which is realistic. I mean, the amount of times in the past where I tried to delete Reddit, or I made a new account thinking, oh, I'm on a new account, so I'll use it less. That was myself like trying to like struggle and do the right thing, but then the inner self, the destructive self, fighting back and reinstating law and order of doom scrolling. I've been on board, mate. You're a kayak and I'm riding you. Don't repeat that. I feel like this alternate version of Suga is almost, it looks like a version of Suga from a different music video. I couldn't name it off the top of my head. But it does feel like, it's almost like, you know, it's like Gemini Man. It's like he's shooting his younger self or something. In fact, isn't that... Is it Date Retard? Because this version of him has a scar in his eye, which he obviously doesn't IRL. This version doesn't. So maybe he is fighting like a different, like, what do you call it? Format? Alternate universe version of himself? I don't know. This is a very cool music video. I chose for the lyrics, that's fine with me, but they're both hitting perfect. That's my interpretation, because I feel like the version of Suga with the scar is like the sort of like, you know, I know, then again, earlier I was saying this version of Suga was being a dick, right? He was the one bouncing around. No, the guy wearing, I guess, based on clothing, that's the blue shirt version. He hasn't got the shirt underneath. I missed a lot. But, you know, stuff and things. So, yeah, it looks to me like the version of Suga with the scar and the suit is like this badass, Date Retard kind of Suga. And it's almost like he's shooting him dead, like, letting go of that ego a little bit. I don't know. Okay, interesting imagery here, because he's in a police car in the back of it, which would normally imply he's, you know, being jailed for his actions. But at the same time, he's literally sticking his head out the window like a dog, like he's free. There's a very powerful, potent imagery in that. Like, he's committed this crime against himself, or he's destroyed his part of himself, and while he should go to jail for it, he's actually feeling more free than he ever has. and he can get out and leave whenever he wants. It's just, oh, it was just giving him a little taxi ride. Oh, that's nice. I guess Korean police are just more generous. Wait, the quality just dropped at 480p. Are you kidding, son? The murderous chopsticks of doom.
또 다른 해금.
Wow. Well, I might have fell off a bit in the last 1 to 2 weeks, but Suga has not at all. Really incredible. Like, I don't know, kind of shows what I'm missing out on, I guess. I don't know. It's like, I feel like I've always, the biggest reason I've been so drawn to BTS is a lyricism, always. Just like, you know, I do still occasionally, you know, I throw BTS music on or it comes up on a playlist and I listen to it, but for me, as a non-Korean speaker, watching these music videos, watching these translations, you know, the lyrics really is what does it for me. Like, that is my BTS fandom, like, appreciating the lyricism. Suga is a lyrical genius, and that was really, 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 really good. Like, I don't know. I think it's a nice break for me as well, because what I think this would be too. I couldn't listen to this music all the time, or like I couldn't watch these music videos with the lyrics all the time. It's really, really heavy and intense, and it's almost like a reflection of my brain, which I want to escape from sometimes. But it is also a nice change of pace, because I think because of that escapism I listen to EDM a lot. Songs with specifically no lyrics, so it is cool to get my teeth into something like this. It's cool. You know, 1 to 2 weeks passes and Suga drops a banger like this. That's all I'm saying. I really enjoyed that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You know, thank you for watching. I would say subscribe, but after 1 to 2 weeks away, I made this video more for myself than for you, really. But I do hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you take care. And I'll see you again, either, you know, soon or 1 to 2 weeks from now. Who knows? Bye.